Charlotte, North Carolina, November 22nd, 2013. Thanksgiving was just days away. On Donna Drive, a 17-year-old girl walked out of her home. She was wearing a black thermal shirt that read Kings, army fatigue pants, white Nike shoes. She had blonde hair extensions, a tattoo on her shoulder that read Choppa with colored stars. Her name was Jamekia Sabb, and she has not been seen since. For more than a decade, her absence has remained unanswered. To understand what might have happened, we turn to a team that approaches missing person investigations differently.
Jamekia was born on July 8, 1997. She was approximately 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing around 120 pounds. She had black hair, reportedly wearing blonde extensions at the time, and brown eyes. She had multiple piercings in her ears, lips, and navel. On November 22, 2013, she left her residence on Donna Drive in Charlotte, North Carolina. 3 days later, on November 26th, officers responded to that address in reference to a missing person report. The reporting party advised that Jamekia had not been seen or heard from since the previous Friday. Her case was documented as a missing person. There were no confirmed sightings publicly released, no verified communication, no documented digital activity that has surfaced publicly. More than a decade has passed, and the available record remains limited. What stood out wasn't what was there, it was what wasn't. There are disappearances where chaos surrounds the event. Calls, sightings, digital movement. In this case, there's almost complete silence. And in missing person investigations, silence is rarely random.
A mission with purpose to find the missing using the power of social networking and cutting-edge technology. We're military veterans, technologists, scuba divers, and relentless seekers. From deep forests to sunken vehicles, from silence to signal, every clue matters. If you've ever felt the call to stand for something greater, this is your moment. This is the Find Me Project.
Now, before we go any further into the circumstances surrounding Jamekia's disappearance, I want to take you behind the curtain for a moment. When the Find Me Project receives a missing person referral, there is a process. It is disciplined, it is methodical, and it is designed to protect the integrity of the case. In Jamekia's situation, the case came to us through an anonymous referral. That's not unusual. Many times it's a concerned community member. Sometimes it's a follower of the project, someone who simply doesn't want a case to fade into silence. When we first reviewed the referral, it was immediately clear that this would be a challenging case. The publicly available information was limited. There were no extensive reports circulating, no major media coverage, very few details beyond the basic circumstances of her disappearance. But those are often the cases that matter most. Jamekia matters. Her life matters. Her disappearance matters. So we accepted the case. The next step in our process is critical. When we contact the law enforcement agency with jurisdiction over the case, in this case, we contacted the Charlotte Police Department. We do not operate in conflict with law enforcement. We do not interfere. We verify that there is an active missing person investigation and that our independent review will not disrupt any ongoing investigative efforts. We were able to confirm that Jamekia's case remains active and that we were clear to proceed in a supportive capacity. From there, we request whatever documentation is publicly releasable. In many cases, that means a public version of the original missing person report. What we're reviewing here is the public release report that was filed on November 26, 2013 at 6:42 p.m. That document gives us important data points, not speculation, not rumor, data. At the time of her disappearance in November of 2013, Jamekia had reportedly left her residence at 6240 Donna Drive in Charlotte, North Carolina. The narrative in the report reads verbatim, On November 26, 2013, at 1950 hours, officers responded to the above listed location in reference to a missing person report. The reporting person advised that the victim was not seen or heard from since Friday. We also see the reporting party listed, believed to be her mother, along with contact information. Those numbers have been redacted here for privacy and security reasons. We made that decision intentionally. One detail that caught our attention early on was the classification of the case. There has been discussion that Jamekia may have initially been listed as a runaway or endangered runaway. And that classification later shifted to a missing person. What we can confirm from the public report we reviewed is that the case is formally documented as a missing person report. Why does classification matter? Well, because how a case is categorized can influence the urgency, the deployment of resources, and the trajectory of early search efforts. That's not speculation, that's operational reality. But rather than focus on what may have happened, I want to focus on something very specific. The address, 6240 Donna Drive in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you lived in that area in November of 2013, if you were visiting that area, if you remember anything at all about that time, that neighborhood, or Jamekia herself, we need you to come forward. There are several ways that you can do that. You can go directly to our website and submit a tip and remain anonymous. You can send us an encrypted message through Signal. You can email us directly. All of those options are listed in the show notes. And here is why that matters. When credible information is received, we have the ability to deploy resources. We can conduct enhanced land-based searches. We can conduct water-based searches when appropriate. We can utilize advanced technology, including AI-driven analysis, large-scale data mapping, and pattern recognition tools to identify connections that may not be immediately visible. But those tools are only as effective as the information they're fed. So now what I want to show you is what can actually happen when we receive that information and we enter it into our advanced AI platform known as Global Search. Let's take a look. So what we're looking at here is a mobile version that I've been developing where it connects to our advanced AI search platform known as Overwatch. Right now, we only have Jamekia's case uploaded into the filtering for this application. But, this will be a good overview to show everybody on just how powerful having data can be to a missing person case. So right now, if we were to go in and look at Jamekia's cold case, we have a preliminary overview that's provided, right? We can see, for example, her current age is 28 years old. She's missing from Charlotte, North Carolina. She was last seen in 2013. High level of the circumstances. If we come down, we have the physical description. We have the link that would take us directly to the case, the parent case, if you will. So if I click on that, you'll be able to see here that this will take us into her missing person cold case. Down here, we have an OSINT summary. You can see that we have one phone number as well as one physical address. Now, if I go to the OSINT tab, again, these are the two elements, data elements that actually came from the police report. So, for example, if we look at the physical address, by running this through Global Search, we're able to identify that there's 114 people that are linked to 6240 Donna Drive in Charlotte, North Carolina. That was the address that Jamekia went missing from. We also the phone number that was provided, the system was also able to match a person related to that phone number, which is then related to Jamekia, right? So you can see how we're able to pivot from data point to data point. We're able to make those connections. And then what the system will do is it will self-learn utilizing machine learning frameworks, take the new information into account as it refines the search query. Now, if we go to the next tab, we have the NAMAS overview. This is the overview for her missing person case. And we can see the investigating agency, if any type of dental DNA or prints were available. We're not pulling that information in right now, but it can be available if it exists. And then we have intel, right? So as intelligence feeds come in, we will start to see those actually populate here. So, again, you can see how powerful this really is from an OSINT standpoint, where we can really start to perform advanced search capabilities. This is something that, these data points will start to grow significantly as we identify intelligence or information, especially if information comes in from the community, from people that may have known Jamekia or may have heard rumors, pieces of information. All of that is important. Now, before we go deeper into this case, it's important to say this clearly. We let facts guide us. We let data guide us. When we examine Jamekia's disappearance, there are several possibilities that must be considered. One possibility is that she left voluntarily, perhaps even intending to run away, and that an unforeseen accident occurred afterward. We know at this time there is no indication that a vehicle was missing along with her. That reduces the likelihood of a traffic accident scenario, at least based on available information. However, that does not eliminate the possibility of an accident occurring on foot. Bodies of water, wooded areas, abandoned structures, all must be evaluated if circumstances warrant it. Another possibility is that she left on her own accord and is alive today. She was a juvenile at the time of her disappearance, which adds complexity. Now, as an adult, she has legal autonomy. If she chose to separate from her past, that is within her rights. But prolonged total silence, especially beginning at age 17, raises difficult questions. And then there is the possibility that we never want to consider, but always must, that malicious intent was involved. At this stage, we do not assume, we do not accuse, we assess, we gather preliminary information, we engage our guardian angel task force, we conduct open source intelligence reviews, and we leverage advanced and analytical platforms to map relationships, digital traces, and geographic patterns. And when the data reaches a threshold, we take one of two actions. We deploy resources into the field, or we compile a comprehensive intelligence report and submit it to the appropriate law enforcement agency. In this case, that would be the Charlotte Police Department. The goal here is very simple: to move this case forward, because 11 years is too long, and silence is not closure.
Left the light on by the window like I always do, just in case tonight's the night you finally come walking through. I replay our last conversation, searching for a sign. Every stranger's face I see, for a second I think it's time. against the odds, against the science. I'll keep a space for you right here inside me. They say that time's a healer, but the clock just stands so still. Every sunrise is a question mark upon a lonely hill. Where did you go? Just an echo in the silence. I'm holding out hope against the odds, against the science. I keep a space for you right here